Hello and welcome students. Today we are going to discuss about chapter 3 polynomials of class 10th maths. We have already studied about polynomials in our previous class and what are the types that is also discussed. But still I am going to describe the types of polynomials in the introduction section of this video, and later on I'll be discussing about algebraic expression and polynomials and what makes an algebraic expression a polynomial. Value of polynomials and zeros of polynomials is also discussed in this video. There are some important points that needs to be remembered in the perspective of questions, because based on that we'll be able to solve the questions. And there are some relation between zeros and coefficients, which is nothing but the important formula of this chapter. At the end of the video you will be getting some questions for practice, so you can also practice questions based on the formulas that is provided in the video from the textbook. So let's start with the introduction part. So in the introduction, I have provided you with the types of polynomials. So number one is monomial. Monomial, mono stands for one. So monomial is a polynomial which has only one term. For example, x square, or we can say y cube. So both the terms are single terms, right? So we can say that both the terms are monomial. Second is binomial. Bi stands for two. So binomial is a polynomial in which there are two terms. Next is trinomial. Trinomial is a polynomial which has three terms. For example, x square plus 2x minus 3. That is a trinomial. Zero polynomial is a polynomial if the coefficients of variables are 0 and all the terms are 0. For example, 0 itself, that is a zero polynomial. Constant polynomial, polynomials which have only constant term or numeric values. Those polynomials are called constant polynomials. For example, 2, 3, 4, etc. Linear polynomials. Those polynomials which have degree 1, that is power 1 to the variable. So if there is a variable like, for example, 2x minus 3, here I will write it down, 2x minus 3. So x has what power? 1. X has degree 1. So this type of polynomial is called linear polynomial. A polynomial which has only degree 1 or power 1 to the variable. Next is quadratic polynomial. A polynomial which has power 2 or degree 2 is called a quadratic polynomial. For example, 2x square plus 1. So that x to the power 2 is called quadratic polynomial. Clear? The last one, cubic polynomial. Cubic itself indicates that power should be 1, the degree should be 3. So a cubic polynomial is a polynomial which has degree 3 or power 3. For example, x cube minus 3. That is also a cubic polynomial. Let's move on to the next topic now. Algebraic expression. So we have already studied about algebraic expression. What are they? It is nothing but sum, difference, division and multiplication between constant terms and some definite variables. So here constant term, for example, in this polynomial fx is 9. Okay. And 6 is also a constant term as a coefficient of x square. Okay. So separately constant term is this one, 9. So fx is equals to x cube minus 6x square plus x plus 9. So here plus minus between the definite variables and constant terms. This forms an algebraic expression. So what makes an algebraic expression a polynomial? There are three conditions for an algebraic expression to be a polynomial. Number one, power of variable is positive. Always the power of the variable is positive. In the above example, x cube then minus 6x square So these two powers and plus x to the power 1, we assume there is a 1 on the power in the multiplication and in the divide. So here all the powers are positive. So we can say that this is a polynomial. So one condition is satisfied. Let's move on to the next one. Number of terms should be definite. That means there shouldn't be any indefinite or infinite number of terms. So fx is equals to x cube minus 6x square plus x plus 9. This has definite terms. So second condition is also satisfied. So we can say this is a polynomial. The last one, coefficient of variable in each term should be real number. Here see, x has a coefficient 1, which is not needed to mention. We assume that there is a 1 in the multiply of x. And in x square, minus 6 is there. X cube, 1 is there. So all these are real numbers, right? So all the three conditions are satisfied. So we can say that fx is equals to this is a polynomial as well. Clear? Let's move on to the next topic. Value of polynomials. If fx is a polynomial in variable x and a is any real number, then fx in the place of fx, if we put a in place of x, then we get some value of the polynomial fx. For example, take this example, fx is equals to 2x square minus 3x minus 2. So in place of x, we have put 1. This 1 is nothing but a. Okay. So this a we have put in place of x, and when we solve this polynomial, we get answer as minus 3. So this minus 3 is nothing but value of polynomial fx. Clear? Let's move on to zeros of polynomial. We have already studied about zeros of polynomial in 9th standard. So condition for zeros of polynomial is that px should be equal to 0 once we put the value of a. A is a real number. A is any real number whose value when we put in the polynomial, then we get 0. So if px becomes equals to 0 after putting the value of a in the polynomial, then that a, the value of a will be the 0 of the polynomial. For example, px is equals to 2x square minus 3x minus 2. If I put x is equals to 2, then what answer I am getting is 0. I am getting px is equals to 0. So I can say that x is equals to 2 is the 0 of the polynomial px. Clear? Let's move on to the next topic. Now there are some important points that needs to be remembered, because see, what people make mistake is, what mistake they do is, they don't focus on what type of question it is asked, because based on these points you will avoid your wastage of time. Because in the first point it says each linear polynomial has one and only one zero. That means if I know about the polynomial that is power 1, see, x to the power 1, it is x minus 2. So if I know about the polynomial, I'll not waste my time in finding the other zeros. Because what students or what other people make mistake is, after knowing that it is a linear polynomial, they'll keep on finding other zeros, which is not possible, because it clearly says a linear polynomial has only one zero. So that 0 will be x is equals to 2. That is how you are going to get 0. Okay. So x is equals to 2 is the 0 of the polynomial x minus 2. Next is quadratic polynomial. Quadratic means two zeros. Cubic means three zeros. That is what? Linear 1, quadratic 2, cubic 3. So this is what you need to remember. So whenever you get the questions with power 3, then it should clearly come in your mind that you need to find three zeros. And quadratic polynomial, you can find two zeros. And for linear polynomial, only one zero. Okay. Let's move on to the next topic. Relation between zeros and coefficients. General form of polynomial is fx is equals to ax square plus bx plus c. Clear? Where c is the constant term, b is the coefficient of x, and a is the coefficient of x square. Let's suppose alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial. Alpha and betas value can be anything. Alpha is equals to 1 or beta is equals to 2. It can be anything. The sum of zeros is equals to minus of coefficient of x. Coefficient of x is minus of b, that is this, and coefficient of x square, that is a. So that a comes below. So this is the formula to find out sum of zeros. For example, if zeros of the polynomials are given minus 2 and 4, and that polynomial is this x square minus 2x minus 8, if we directly add it, we will get answer as 2, correct? And based on formula, if we solve it, minus of minus 2 upon 1 is equals to 2. So we can see that both the answers are same, that is 2 is equals to 2, right? So on that basis, we can say that the relation is true. That is the relation between the zeros. Clear? Now let's move on to the next, that is product of zeros, means alpha and beta. So constant term upon coefficient of x square, if we do, then we will get the zeros of polynomial. Clear? Just like what I did here, you can follow the same procedure and write down the c's and a's values. So you will get, first of all, you have to directly multiply alpha and beta, that is minus 2 and minus 2 and 4 you have to multiply, and then put the values over here and check if you are getting the same answer. If you are getting the same answer, then you can say that the relation is true. Last but not the least, in the above two formulas, we have found out the, like after getting the zeros, we have found out the values, sum of zeros and product of zeros and their relation. But in this, if zeros are given in the last point, if zeros of the quadratic polynomial is given, but polynomial itself is not given, then how will you find out the polynomial? So we need to follow this formula, fx is equals to k into x square minus sum of zeros into x plus product of zeros. Here k is any real number. So once you solve this, then you will get the value of or the value of polynomial fx you will get. Clear? Why I have mentioned these important points and the formulas, because based on these you will be able to solve the questions. Now last but not the least, the practice session, try it yourself. So here are the some questions based on what I have taught you just now. So first question is, find the zeros of the polynomial of following quadratic polynomial and test the relation between zeros and coefficients. Here I will take the first example, 4x square plus 8x generally. So if I put 4 into, in place of x, I put minus 2, minus 2's square plus 8x, right? So what value I get? Minus 2's square is 4 and 4 into 4 becomes 16. Clear? And then plus 8 into minus 2 becomes minus 16. So 16 minus 16 equals to 0, right? So we can say that minus 2 is 0 of given polynomial. So now which type of polynomial it is? Power 2 it is, right? So quadratic polynomial. So how many zeros will be there? There are 2 zeros. One I have found out, minus 2, right? The other one you need to find out. You can do the same with the other examples as well. Don't get confused with the root problems and all. Try to solve it, and if there is any problem, write it in the comment section. I'll get back to you. And you can also try with the second question where zeros are given and you need to find out the polynomial, that last formula which I told you just now. Clear? If there is any problem or any confusion, you can get back to me and I'll come up with the next video of next chapter. Thank you and have a good day.